All right, you guys, welcome to the webinar. So you guys already know that this specific webinar is going to be on how that trip should be a whole tax deduction. So we are going to allow more people to join us and give us a few more seconds. All right, that is enough time, you guys. So when you enter the webinar, make sure that you mute your microphone, get your notes ready, and I hope you guys are ready to learn. And we're going to also save all of the questions until the end. So as I mentioned before, this specific webinar is going to be on your trips, whenever you take trips as a travel agent, and how they should be tax deductible. Let's jump right in. Okay, so when you are taking trips, the first thing that you need to make sure that you're doing is that you're keeping documentations of all travel transactions. And so on all of these travel transactions, whether it be booking confirmations or receipts, it doesn't matter. If you're doing it while traveling, make sure on that paper, make sure it addresses who is on the trip, who you're going to see, what you're doing on that trip, where you're going on that trip, when in specific you're going on this trip, why you're on the trip, and how much the trip costs. Okay, so I've been doing this for a while. If you ever get in a tax audit, this is exactly what the auditors are looking for. And so what you want to do is you want to make sure that you keep a printed copy of this. You don't necessarily want to have it all online. You want to have also a printed copy of this, and you want to also have it in an envelope that's addressed for, let's say, 2021 or 2022 taxes. Always be prepared as if you're going to have an audit. You don't want to get an audit and then try to scramble and get everything together. So that's that. On all documents, make sure you can answer these 6 questions: who you're going to see, who you're with, what you're doing, where you are, where you're going, when was this, the date, why were you there, and how much was the transaction. Okay. Next thing that I want to address with you guys is, if you're actually planning on making any trip tax deductible and a good tax deduction, you need to make sure that you visit a site inspection while you are on your trip. If you're on a trip, just a fun girls trip, it's not really business related. But guess what? When you do a site inspection, that now becomes business. So many of you guys already know that a site inspection is when you go to a resort or hotel and you actually get to view the property. You get to speak to the sales manager or one of the property managers and see the room, see the whole property, and get to ask them questions. And so I'm going to actually show you guys how to find perfect people and perfect resorts to do site inspections with. As you guys know, we are with Ensemble. And because we are with Ensemble, they're like brother sister properties, right? So I am logged into our Ensemble portal. And so let's say I am going to, hey, look, we're going to the Maldives. Let's see if there's any of our affiliated companies in the Maldives. All right, so look at that. It's called One and Only Reef Ra. All right, so if I'm going to the Maldives, I need to be visiting here. Okay, first of all, we get buffet breakfast for 2 daily, and then we get in One and Only Reef Captain per guest. This is pretty neat. And then we're gonna get free Wi-Fi, so that's amazing in itself. So this is the hotel that we're gonna do a site inspection, and so it's like, how do you ask the hotel, are they available for a property inspection, or when can what do you need to do to get the contact person's information to set up a site inspection? This is exactly what you do, you guys. Oh, let me make sure I'm sharing this. Let's take a peek. Okay, it is sharing. Okay, so all you have to do is go right down here to info, and then it's going to open up a window. Right, and so within that window is going to be all of the contact information that you'll ever need for this specific location. Okay, and so over here it tells you a little bit about the resort. You get some pictures and stuff to use. Some more hotel information. Down here it shows how much commissions you'll be getting, and then in this part it shows some videos. So over here, here's the contact information. Okay, so your on-site contact is going to be the director of sales and marketing, and CN Thomas seems to be that person. So all you do is go to that email. You're going to email the person, hi CN, my name is Tyra from Mommyandweetravels. We are Ensemble affiliates, and I got your email address from off the Ensemble site. I'll be in the Maldives from March the 14th through March the 21st. And I was wondering, is there anyone at the resort that could do a site inspection with me while I'm there? I'd love to visit the property, and I can't wait to hear back from you. You should, with just that one email alone, you should definitely hear back from this property. One, because they love us. All properties love travel agents and any of their travel industry partners. Two, they know that we're going to bring the people. They know that. They know that there's no doubt about it. If we see their property and we love their property, we're going to send the people there. We know exactly where to send the people. If the price is right, we're probably going to send the people there. Okay. So that's those two. And so just by chance, if this person doesn't answer the email, then you can always contact right here, our US representative. Okay. And so, maybe this person doesn't work there. Maybe this person's on vacation, maybe, maybe, but I've never had an issue with reaching this person up here. And so let's see, has another way to reserve. And then this also gives you agent portal access. So this is a good way to find a place to do a site inspection. And you always want to do site inspections. I love site inspections. I love meeting with the suppliers and getting to see what the resort has to offer my clients and what the resort has to offer me as an agent and anyone that's in the industry. So it literally anywhere I go, there's a property like Bali. I wish we could go to Bali, but right now they're closed. All right, so look, let's see, this Huntington Beach, California. Yeah, so there's so many different properties that we could do a site inspection at. So, it's endless. So you guys don't have any excuses not to make your trip tax deductible, okay? So back over to the presentation. All right, so got that. Okay, so when you get to the site inspection, I know some of you may, be saying, oh my gosh, it seems like a lot to do while you're on vacation. Well, listen, a site inspection only takes about 30, 40 minutes, it only takes that, sometimes it may take longer depending on, how big the property is. Are you guys going to have lunch together? For the most part, most of the travel suppliers, the sales manager or the owners, they take us to lunch and, we sit down and we chat about the property or our plans for bringing people back there, if we plan on coming back. And, we discuss, things like that. And, granted, lunch or dinner is not a guarantee, but I'm just telling you in my experience, doing property inspections, if, I'm not getting, lunch or something, like the last one that I was at, it was in South Beach. I did a site inspection at SLS and the property manager, he was really, really busy, but he couldn't, he did say, he didn't have a lot of time to take us to lunch, but he did offer us a separate space on the beach. These are areas that are paid for. And so he went out there and he got us a space to, sit and chill on the beach and, in our own tenant area. So like I said, things like this, are not always included inside of a site inspection, but, don't be surprised if you get to a site inspection and they completely roll out the red carpet for you. That happened when we were in Mexico at, wasn't Paradises, it was, not one of my travel agents was there with me. Oh gosh, I feel horrible. Let's see what property that was. It's beautiful. It's 5-star all-inclusive. Let's see, wasn't Paradises? Grand Residence. Oh my gosh, I can't believe I forgot that. Grand Residence was the property. And the property manager was so nice, so sweetest person I've ever met. They completely rolled out the red carpet for us, you guys. They picked us up from a total clean across Mexico. They sent transportation for us. It was really nice transportation. When we got there, it was amazing. It was amazing. I had my daughter with me. They took my daughter, they took her to the kids club so that I can do the property inspection and, get all of the questions that I, had, I could get those answered. And, my daughter should have a fun place to be, but Grand Residence, that was one of the best property inspections that I've ever been on. Lourdes is the property manager there. And so while you guys are there, I know you guys may not know what to ask on a property inspection, but don't worry, I got you guys covered, okay? So, currently with the pandemic and everything that's going on, these are some good questions to ask when you get to the property. And, you don't want to always, don't ask them back to back to back. A lot of times, they're getting answered as you're going through the property inspection. So, you just go through the property inspection and, as you get to that question, go ahead and ask the question, like once you get to the rooms. start asking, you know, questions about the room category and stuff. So these are my questions that, you know, my favorite top questions that I love asking. And, you know, for number one, you know, what are the COVID test costs? You know, some resorts, they charge for COVID tests and some don't. How do you know, how does scheduling a test go? Let's see, are the tests free to clients, or is it, you know, are both tests, both PCR and antigen, are they free to clients? How much are they? Are they complimentary? You know, all of those questions. Number two, what's the cost for transportation for pickup from the airport and taking them back? Some of them are already included, like at Grand Residence, the transportation was already included, okay? And then so number three, is there a tour option at this resort? And then are they commissionable? You guys, whenever you go to properties, you want to always make sure you're getting paid as well if you're sending clients. So always ask these questions. Never be afraid to ask questions like this, okay? And then so number four is this a timeshare property? I'm not sure if you guys have ever been to a property as a travel agent, or even as, you know, before you were a travel agent and you got to a property you didn't know was a timeshare property, and literally as soon as you get in there, they're like bombarding you with timeshare questions. Always ask that in advance when you get to a site inspection, because you don't, if you send clients there, you kind of want to prepare them, you know. If the price is, you know, really, really good, you want to prepare them for what they're about to receive. And what I always tell all of my clients, if it's a timeshare property, I tell my clients to tell the person that's trying to offer them a timeshare, tell them that you're a travel agent. When you tell them that you're a travel agent, they automatically leave you alone, because we get the best deals in the industry. There's nothing that this timeshare company can offer us as travel industry partners, okay? So yeah, you know, as I said, if so, can clients bypass the presentation? And they'll tell you how to bypass the presentation. Or the client can just say that they're a travel agent. If your client doesn't want to lie, then, you know, if they don't want to lie and say that they're a travel agent, then, you know, if they can't bypass the presentation, then you may not want to book that client there, you know. So question number 5, do you offer day passes for clients that stay at the property, that are not staying at the property? Sometimes some resorts are so massive and so big that they have a lot to do at that property. And day passes there, sometimes day passes are really, really good for clients. A client could be staying at a totally different resort, or maybe can't afford to stay at the resort that has a day pass, but you can still give them the full experience of that resort without them actually having to book a room there. So day passes a lot of times include a lot. So it's always important to ask a question like that. Question number 6, what is the cost for your security deposit and incidentals? This is so very important to ask you guys. And I say this because I remember I went on a fam trip to the Dominican Republic in Casa de Campo. This was over a year ago. And so it was a fam trip. So we got 2 free nights. And then any addition, it was two or 3 free nights, but any additional nights was $99. And so that was completely amazing. I took myself, I took my daughter, I took my friend, her husband, and her daughter. And so all we did was pay that extra $99 per person. And of course, we paid for our flight. When we got there, everything was all inclusive. Everything was all inclusive. It was a 5-star property. I mean, Casa de Campo, this is where all of the presidents and the celebrities stay at. Celebrities own properties out there in Casa de Campo. It was a beautiful property. We got free golf lessons. We got to play on the Teeth of the Dog, which is like one of the best golf courses in the Caribbean. But what no one told me was that my security deposit was going to be $1,000. So it was like $250 per person. And so I guess that was not counting, you know, the child. So that was a shocker to me. But it was just a security deposit. It was just the security deposit, just in case there was any incidentals. But you always want to ask for the cost for the security deposit or incidentals, because you don't want your client to get there and can't pay the security deposit or the incidental. Like, that's a pretty awkward situation to be in. So thank God I had the right card with me where they can pre-charge that extra $1,000, because that would have been a whole issue, okay? So after you ask that question, you want to also ask, are there any additional credit card holds? Sometimes, you know, resorts charge additional on top of the security deposit for whatever reason. So it's important to ask that question. Another question is ask them about daily resort fees and the amount of it, because sometimes when we book, it doesn't include the resort fee. For the most part, we should already know that to tell the client. But when you're on the property inspection, of course, you didn't pre-call to check any of this because this was you're there for a property inspection for. So always ask, is there a daily resort fee? And if so, how much is that? That's so important for the client to know. Question number 7, what are the room categories? And, and these, while I'm doing this site inspection, I usually have my tablet with me, and as they're answering the questions, I usually just plug those right into my tablet, okay? So, or you can, have your pen and piece of paper. If you write really, really neat, while you're walking, then hey, by all means, you can write that down too. Number 7, what are the different room categories? What's the top tier room category? What are the different room categories that you can book with that specific resort? Question number 8, does the resort offer all-inclusive or just a European plan? Okay. That's important to know too, because you don't want to send your clients to a resort and you think it's all-inclusive, but all they're offering is a European plan. You get in big trouble for that. Your client will not be happy, honey. I can promise you that. All right. So question number 9. Are there any kids club? I put no kids clubs, but that was my mistake. So ask the question, are there any kids clubs or kids activities on the property if it's a family-friendly resort? If it's a family-friendly resort, they may have a kids club or they may not, but that's important for you guys to know as well. Number 10, is there any babysitting services that's offered? And if so, how much is it per child? Okay. So number 11 is what are our ensemble benefits? I'm not sure if you guys remember the last web page that I went on. It was through Ensemble, and I just searched the hotel and I was able to see our ensemble benefits. But while we're there on property, you never know if they have added extra benefits. It's important to ask, so I always ask it. Question number 12 is how do I book? Do I book directly, or is there a travel agent website for us to book on? And so, sometimes they'll have a separate travel agent website, or sometimes they'll just say, book on your regular booking engine to book with them. Some companies don't have a separate website to book directly for travel agents. Okay. Number 13, is there an activities desk? Like, are there any, excursions, excursions or, regular activities throughout the resorts? Like when we're in Hawaii, they had a whole activities desk, like, and they had a lot of activities. And, these activities were free. These activities were free to clients. And so it was like hula lessons, yoga lessons, I believe it was ukulele lessons, like just the different activities that clients could do. And I got a copy of that, just so, and, I put it in my file, get copies of stuff. So when you do send clients back, sometimes stuff like that isn't online. And, when you call and try to get it, maybe they'll give it to you. Maybe they'll email it to you, or maybe they won't, so you don't know. So I always just say, ask for it, And then, so number 14, do you offer fam agent rates? Sometimes they offer great travel agent rates. Sometimes they have fam trips. If so, can they put us on the list, for info? And so if they're offering fam rates, then guess what? You'll get an email about that. And so that'll be nice to come visit the resort again, and maybe bring some friends with you. All right. And then so question number 15, do you offer any agent rates or net rates? So that's these are my favorite 15 questions to ask while I am on a property site inspection. So if you guys want more insight on my questions, or you guys need additional questions, you guys just email me and let me know. All right. So another thing that you need to do to make your trips tax deductible, or a good tax deduction, is you're going to make sure that you are using a tax documentation software for record keeping. Me personally, I like to use QuickBooks. I have attached QuickBooks to my business account, and every time there's a transaction that goes through, QuickBooks automatically goes through and they categorize it. They categorize it, and all I have to do is go back and review it and, accept or deny how they have classified it, so that when it is tax time, guess what, you guys? All I have to do is go and print that out. I have all of my documentation. I have all of my receipts. I have all of my confirmation pages. I have all of that already ready. And then with QuickBooks, it just makes it even easier. Okay. So check into that. There's a lot of free tax software for small businesses. So just, if I were you, just go into Google and just type, free tax documentation software for small businesses. This is very important, you guys. So if you guys plan on making your trips tax deductible, and remind you, it's only tax deductible or a tax deduction for you because you are the travel business owner. There are certain rules and regulations on that. And towards the end, I'm going to actually show you a book that will help you navigate stuff like this. You guys know that, I'm not a tax attorney. I'm not, a tax preparer. I have a CPA, but, I've been doing this for a while. So, I do have, some good knowledge of, what's going on in, the industry of, filing taxes and getting everything prepared for my CPA for the tax season. So, like I said, I'm not a tax professional, but in this book that I'm going to show you, this will help you gain a lot of knowledge. Okay. So as I said before, you want to keep a manual record of everything that's business related. And then so what you're going to do is you're going to type in, go into Google and you're going to type in ledger book. They're either called a ledger book or they're called a tax record book. You want to keep record of everything. So literally starting from January the 1st, if you go on a trip, you need to put down how much the flight was, how much the hotel was, your part of it. How much was the flight? How much was the hotel? How much was the food? How much was all of that? All of that needs to be kept in the book. And then you're going to have paper copies of everything. I recommend printing stuff out and then also keeping a record of it on your computer. Right? So let's talk about things to keep for record keeping. As I've just mentioned, you want to keep the receipts for your food. Yep, your food is tax deductible when you're on a trip. Okay, so if you're at a business meeting with you and one of the the property managers, let's say you paid for the dinner, or they usually do pay for the dinner. But let's say you paid for something, or if you're meeting with the client, just you and the client, and you're discussing business. Guess what? That's a whole tax deduction right there. On the back of the receipt, write down those 6 questions. Make sure those 6 questions that I mentioned in the beginning, make sure all of those are answered. Who you're with, why you're with them, how much is the meal, the dates, where, make sure you write down every single thing that needs to be written down. Don't try to think that you're going to remember it, because trust me, honey, you're not going to remember it if it's like a week or so, or even a year down the road. So it's best to just document things how they're supposed to be documented. And then so you want to keep your resort receipts. You want to keep your flight receipts. And then you also want to keep the business cards of the person that you have met with. So when you're on a site inspection, more than likely, you're going to get a business card. I could say 99.9% of the time, you're going to get a business card from whoever you're meeting with, unless they have ran out of business cards or something like that. For the most part, you're going to get a business card from that person. Okay. As I mentioned, there's a book that I've been reading, and I've been reading his books for so long. There's so many things that's in this book that's going to blow your mind. Okay. So if you guys, have the extra coins, I would highly suggest to getting this book. And it's called Lower Your Taxes. And the book is written by Sandy Bodkins. He's a CPA, and you guys catch this. He used to work for the IRS. So he's like an IRS snitch. He's telling everything, and I love it. He's snitching in a good way, though. He's helping us now. Before, he used to be kind of working against us. Now he's working for us. And so this is let me show you guys. this is the book, okay? So it's available on Kindle for $13.99, and then it's available as a regular book for $24. And he has a few different books, you guys, but I highly recommend reading this book whenever you get a chance, because it's going to completely blow you guys away. And when I tell you, I'm just telling you guys the basics of basics, like keep your receipts, you know, make sure you have a ledger book. And like, he goes deep into detail with all of this. Like, he has so many different tax secrets. I can't even mention them all here. I can't even listen. Just get the book. If you can get the book, if you want to borrow my book, I may ship it to you. Like, you know, just let me know. Just let me know. But this book will save you, especially if you're trying to make all of your travels, for you, especially as a travel business owner, if you want to make that tax deductible. I highly recommend reading this book in your spare time by Sandy Botkins. All right. So it's going to kind of wrap up the webinar. Again, let me go through really fast, because I know this was, you know, a fast webinar. So the first thing that you want to do, once again, to make all travels tax deductible, is you want to, on the receipt or on the booking confirmation, you want to put in who, what, where, when, why, and how much it costs. Make sure you have that. Do not wait until you get home. Do not wait until the trip is over. As soon as you're right there, write on it. Write on that receipt all 6 of them. Make sure all 6 of those are answered. Okay. You're going to make sure that you go on a site inspection. If you want to make something tax deductible, it has to be about business. If it's not about business, it's all about pleasure, then guess what? It's not tax deductible. Okay. So in order to make sure that, in order to ensure that you're going to be on a site inspection, I highly recommend going to your Ensemble booking engine and searching a few hotels in the area and setting up a site inspection for them, you guys. Highly, highly recommend that. Guess what? All of my trips for this year, they're tax deductible, honey. I can't tell you how many site inspections I have did this year. I have did a ton, and each and every one of them I enjoyed. I enjoyed it, not because, you know, it's tax deductible. I like that part, but just to go out there and see the resorts, that excites me. So make sure you do a site inspection. If you're not, just remember, keep this in your head. If you're not making it business, if there's no business going on your vacation, then that vacation isn't tax deductible. Okay. So travel is your business. So just visit a resort, you guys. Just visit one resort and do a site inspection. These are all of the site inspection questions that I usually ask when I'm on a site inspection. And I'll actually copy these, and I'll leave them inside of the notes section. All right. Make sure you guys are using a tax documentation software for record keeping. As I said, I always recommend QuickBooks, but there's other free services out there. All right. Make sure you keep a manual record of everything that is business related. If you guys get audited and you guys do not have your record keeping book, oh honey, you're just going to get hit with that fee, because everything is going to get thrown out of the window. You have no tax record of anything. You have no record of anything if you don't have a ledger book. Ledger books and tax record books, they're one and the same. If you have not manually written it down, then you're probably going to lose that audit. And that's what you don't want, right? And then also, these are just some things. If it's trip related, I say make a baggie. Get a little Ziploc bag when you're on vacation, and just, you know, keep it in your wallet, keep it in your purse, and just throw all receipts in there, all receipts for food, all receipts for the resorts, all your flight receipts, and then keep the business cards in there too. And then just label it. And then when, you know, as soon as you can get back to your tax book, just start writing it in your tax book. All right. I recommend you guys read. Like I'm being, you know, it's no way possible that I can give you every piece of everything that you need to know when it comes to, you know, writing things off. There's so many different things to learn, you know, when it comes to writing things off. And I'm just telling you guys what I know. Like, listen, get this book. This book is going to save your whole travel life. Like, if you want to if you want to make just about everything travel related tax deductible, honey, listen, get the book. Get the book, and you'll thank me later. So, even though this was a quick webinar, I hope you guys learned something. If you guys have any additional questions, just let me know. And I'm going to open the floor up for questions. Does anyone have any questions? Let me check on Facebook. All right. So no one on Facebook has any questions. All right. So this has been a great webinar. If you guys have any additional questions, please feel free to let me know. You guys know how to reach me. Reach me on my cell phone at 813-461-3592. And if for whatever reason you don't get a quick enough message back from me on that number, just call me on my cell, 813-347-2860. You guys know you can email me, you can message me on Facebook. You guys can, do whatever you need to do to reach me, but usually one text message will do, and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. If you have any additional questions, just let me know. Until our very next webinar, I'll see you guys later. Bye.